Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I'm in the infamous win. I love win because, you can't see it. It's a mood. It's a mood that the earth has. 1 minute, the earth want to, what is that sound? Okay. Sorry about that. 1 minute, it's gone. The next minute, it's a mood. It's like it's so cool how it can blow into your face and you can't even see where it's coming from. You can't even see where it's coming from. Just so beautiful. So if I get up and walk away from the computer, that's code for there's a bee after me. I was telling TikTok about this horrific bee story that I had where I sat up there and the bee was following me. I said, "Look, Mr. B, I know you're weaponized, but leave me alone." And the bee sat up there and left me alone. So then I sat up there and we fast forward to today. I was playing Radiohead and all of a sudden the bee came out of nowhere just buzzing. Bzzz. I'm like, "What do you want, Mr. B? What do you want?" And so the bee just buzzed and left. I was like, "Okay, thank you, Mr. B. Thank you." But it'll be back once you hear me. So today we're going to talk about Donald Trump. We're going to talk about Donald Trump, advocating for him, stay strong, and I just wanted to say, stay strong. So let's see if I can find some footage. Usually I have my footage. Okay, let me connect y'all. Now, you may not hear it. You may not hear it. So just get ready. I'll explain it. Imagine what you can do with science and technology. Technology is the brink of the magic that we have to look forward to when we move forward in this navigation of life. One day we will be helping other planets. Well, we probably already are helping other planets, but one day we will be helping other planets, that are 500 years behind us. One day we will be helping other planets that are 300 years behind us. One day we will be helping other planets that are 100 years behind us. One day we will be helping generations where there's 50 years, a half a century. You know, we will be helping people. I know I'm not the only one that thinks like this, but I want to be known throughout the universe. I don't want to just be known in my country or another um, country or the world. I want to be known throughout the universe as the first Black girl that actually, was enlightened enough to sit up there and teach her followers what they may not know. Like, for instance, 8 presidents before George Washington. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. So, yeah. Amplify human potential, solve problems. That's what needs to happen to amplify human potential. You one day they can't stop it, but one day we're all going to be going out of space. We're all going to be going out of space. But then there's going to be barriers. There's going to be barriers where you can't go but so far out of space with the vehicle that you have. And or they got a halfway point where it's secured for just in case some rogue item try to come through our airspace or like, I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, amplify human potential. That's what that means to me. To amplify human brain capacity to merge one with AI, because that's all it's about is how can you merge with AI? How can you merge with AI? I did it again. I did it again. Oh man, I can't stop filming. We know he ain't talking about the Checkers restaurant. Yeah, I would love to know what he's talking about because we know he ain't talking about the Checkers restaurant. Y'all remember that restaurant Checkers with those French fries? No one can touch it. He said quantum computing and nuclear power. So pretty much more power and quantum computing. That is going to make for a marvelous world. Like seriously. I think everything that he's doing is by the book and is well thought out by his intel. By his intel. Like I said, if a bee come near me, if a bee come near me, I was cracking a joke about bees and I kind of like hear one. So if a bee come near me, just know I'm getting up. He's talking about the war not being an easy one. He says the opposite of what you think, uh, when you think it's going to be an easy one to take care of, it's actually the hardest. And I say that to say who would benefit? Who would benefit from this war? Just imagine, what could you do with $350 billion? Imagine with the people, if that money was put into the people instead of a war, what you could do with $350 billion. If you could put AI or anything, they're slowing. Ukraine and Russia is slowing down their AI to work. No, let me rephrase. Russia is slowing down because they're at war. They made plans for this for a while. They had to have made plans for this for a while to go to war with Ukraine. It said it in the documentary I showed y'all. How Putin rolled up in a black limousine, going like this with his suit, talking about, I don't think Ukraine is a country. He told Bush that. And Bush said, I don't know why you're here. So he sat up there and said, Ukraine isn't a country. But now it's beneficial on both party sides to be at war. I'm sorry. I'm not saying Ukraine people are bad. I swear to God on the Holy Bible and God Himself, I'm not saying Ukraine people are bad. But there's corruption, $350 billion wasted. It was a waste. People died. It was a failure. And it still is a failure. Somebody is fueling Hamas, and I'm about to figure out who. There's no way somebody can be that powerful. That's evil. They control the economy of the Gaza Strip. Hezbollah, Hezbollah, smuggling through tunnels under the Egyptian border. Just so evil, man. So the proxies, basically, the proxies are funding it. The proxies and annual funding. In 2023, the U.S. Department of Treasury investigated and identified Russian financial activity that benefit Hamas. So it's mostly China has ties to support Hamas. China and Russia. It's right here in black and white. And the Jewish Policy Center is talking about it. I don't even know who that is. Don't you think that China want that Gaza Strip? One day China will probably want, or Russia will probably want that Gaza Strip to be their own. America sitting up there and creating a new Gaza Strip or doing whatever they're supposed to be doing to the Gaza Strip, that will bring peace and more money to not only where it's being done at, but the Americans will have money. You know what? If I were in a position like Trump, I would do the same thing. I would sit up there and say, I don't want one or two released or three released when you feel like it. But then, they're souls. He's going to do what he wants with them anyway. So we need to figure out a way to counteract that. Do we sit up there and go in and kill him to take down, this organization, this government organization that they done got brewing? What do we do so that the Israel people are safe and the innocent people that are in the middle between grown ass men's battles, unnecessary men battles? This is grown men sitting up there, don't understand with what don't take a hostage, don't kill a hostage, don't rape a hostage, don't assault a hostage. This is grown men that should be able to compute what they are doing is wrong, and they know what they are doing is wrong, and they're continuing to now that is against the law. That's against the world law. That's a universal law code that we're we're up against. That's against the law. Go fight that. That's what I want to know. Was there any words or any encouragement? That is what's wrong with people. We don't encourage people. We sit up there and we selfishly neglect people that we feel, that we assume and mind read, that we don't like based on who they are and not what they could possibly offer you. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. All I'm saying is, you know, Hamas is talking about taking people's bodies and using them as shields, using their bodies. If anything should happen, their body, and they know we care about souls. If we didn't care about souls, we would go in there and blow him up and just say, forget the hostages and just let it be and bring them home damaged. But we got the target type thing. That would be a selfish act. That's exactly what I would like to do if I was in his shoes. Only not because it's selfish, but because he is flinging around with their lives and he's going to plan on killing them anyway. That's a hostile situation. And that's what the people of Israel want, their hostages back. You know, he's playing around with souls, man. Hamas is playing around with souls. And these two presidents are getting, the president of Israel is getting very impatient. That shows how scared they are. I swear I wish I can use that word. I thought of the word. If whoever's reading my mind, I'm saying it over and over and over and over in my mind. But they are that. They are that. They are that. That is some sick stuff, man. Playing around with people's lives. I mean, think about it. What country allows prisons to be opened up? How do you open up something like, is it because they need the roughest of the rough and the worst of the worst to go out and do their dirty work for them? Like, why? Do you need somebody to go out there and do the dirty work for you? That's basically what we do here. What we were doing here. What we were doing here is release and catch and release, catch and release. You know, people with severe past the three strikes, past the three strikes, and still getting out. We did it in a more sophisticated by law way. He said there's been zero people that entered the country illegally, which which means that we're cutting down tremendously on people harassing other people. Like for instance, sometimes I get harassed and I just ignore it. I just ignore it. But what's going to happen when they're tired of me ignoring it? What's going to be their next thing they do to try to get a rouse out of me? I think it should be against the fucking law to try to get a rouse out of someone, to promote them to go to jail. I think that that is sick, it's sadistic, and it's wrong. I think that it should be a law against that. And what's messed up is these immigrants hold their self, don't even hold their self accountable to the highest extent of the law. They think that it's okay for them to invade our fucking space and us not do shit about it. They invade our space, and some people, some white people, some black people, some Hispanic American people don't even know it. There's been Hispanic Americans that have died because of these illegal immigrants. They invade our fucking space, and I'm sick of it. And what's even worse is what they do when they invade my space. They either do stuff with their child that is very questionable, very, 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 very disgustingly questionable, or they'll just invade my 6 feet space. At least give me 6 feet. You can't give me 6 feet. What is wrong with you? Only something so satanic would allow, only something so satanic would allow prisoners to be released for the worst of the worst charges. They need to go back. They need to look at the black people that accidentally got lost in the system. They need to look at the black people that didn't get lost in the system, but got lost in the streets from the system. They need to look at so many characterizations of this system because it's fucked up.
competitive health of the North Sea. We've been clear about that for some time. So need to mix them with renewables. It's really important. And then I've taken on this as this second approach that I say to many other things. Thank you, Mr. You said that let you down. How the good things that road and become hell. People
It's very obvious that Putin is geared like a killer. He has a killer mind and a very, very strategical mind. He's very strategic about what he does. He's very careful about what he does. He's very calculated about what he does. And he can tell weak presidency. He can see, he wants to see just how much he can get away with. So, what if he was an influence on the last election, which are some connections, because the Democrats were so obsessed with framing Trump for the Russia, Russia, Russia hoax. So he can strategically get into the war and probably pay off the weaponization of the prior presidency so he can go to war. Now, this is what fake wars is all about. He withdrew from Afghanistan. People were falling off the freaking plane. I remember it big as day. People were falling off the freaking plane, trying to get in the air. When you start to think you can fly 500 miles per hour in the air, you must really don't want to be there. These are sane soldiers. These were soldiers. Just like he said, I'm connecting the dots. Just like he said that the way they withdrew from Afghanistan was very weird. And the base, they have the base now, and we want it back. But now that base is an hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. I wonder who allowed them to get that base back. That base is the biggest in the world, and it will allow peace, a transition between Afghanistan and the United States to find a connection. And now we have them who took over the base, and now it's like it's crazy. It's crazy. I want y'all to watch some clips from the White House and how Israel did not want to even be bothered. There was no meetings on the list between Israel and Biden administration. Israel did not want to be bothered with Biden.
And one was the top.
Did you hear what he said? Millions of people have died, millions of souls. Souls. Like I said, they care about souls, people's souls. America. That's the American way.
Actually, so we have to have that.
This was all strategically done to from Trump not winning when he was supposed to win in 2019. I mean, I'm gonna say I don't know because I don't want TikTok cutting me off and saying this is misinformation or disinformation. But from Trump not winning in 2020, it has been all a scheme. But all you did was make him stronger. So it was kind of like a benefit for him to go around and find more people to talk to, that didn't even wasn't on the Trump boat train. I mean, think about it, y'all. We voted for Donald Trump. I voted for him twice. We are all winners. We are all winners for voting for him. And he says he's a winner. We're all winners because we made the proper decision to vote for this guy. Because it's not about who's a loser and who's a winner per se, but it's about, do you want to be fed lies? Would you like to be fed lies? I mean, what do you want? Do you even know what you want? Or do you want the government telling you what you want?
Recently, when the targets will be the British Council, the European Union, the House of Instance, to be places in it happened last week. And if you put that together, what you can see is it's an increase in this, which is, that's what I said earlier, that
It's like Putin knows he can get away with it. He's basically kind of like calling the president weak because he knows the president is going to go by the necessary. He knows what the president can do. So basically, he's kind of like calling the president weak in a sort of sense by saying he can sit up there and continue the war, and there's nothing y'all going to do about it until the last minute. He's dragging his feet, his tail, his horns.
we do with the Ukrainians themselves. Of course, that taken is solid.
He said that was heading to a third world war. Because what would have happened is had Biden been in office, he would have sat up there and took out, uh, had the troops go over there, and then it kept funding Ukraine. Ukraine would have got richer. Not to say they don't deserve to be rich, that they would have got richer and funded, should I say. And there would have been lots of bloodshed.
Years. Um, Having been in DC for a few weeks, really have you in the country proud to be in the begs the question, prime minister country. So here, I'm still British. I'm not even American, I'm still British. Also, that's for the prime minister, but also just like what we talked about in Scotland a few weeks ago. We proud people who post. That says my church. I
Think about how think about how KGB could be here with a whole new life, and they get centered in the government. Their code name is get in the government by any means necessary and infiltrate it. They're doing a damn good job of it with the deep state.
If to do so as a country, not free speech in this country. Free speech is one of the values of the United Kingdom. Uh, and honestly, um, and always will, we will get it out on free speech. A limit between free speech and and to decide social media. And therefore, I free speech children from files, those.
Let's get the cat out of the bag. When I was like 16, there were pedophiles all around me, man. There were pedophiles all around me. And it's sick. It's sick. You wouldn't think that they would be titled as a pedophile, how slick they come into your life. I wasn't thinking, oh, we need to educate our children of what a pedophile really looks like.
For individual, particularly teenagers. Uh, we will. Thank you. Thank you. Just good to see you again.
Oh, I have to tell y'all something. So today I sat up there and I went to the King County Courthouse to get copies of my videos. And I noticed something eerie, very eerie. I noticed that they allow a woman to come in there who said, come here to thin air. I don't know what she's saying. I don't care. I don't want to know. But when you get into a government building and you're saying, come on, and they're allowing it, that is a danger to all of those staff members in that building, plus me. I am sick of seeing that. These Democrats accept anything. They sit up there and they allow crazy people to come in government buildings, but then watch people like me, like I'm the problem.
Why did label Antifa domestic terrorists? Would you consider doing something like that in your country? The decision. So the president does take our decisions ourselves. And my question to you, President Trump, is there any update on the budget? Yeah. You expect years ago, You
People like Biden should have been watched. People like Biden should have been watched. I'm just like Charlie Kirk. I am Charlie Kirk. Biden was questionably acting pedophilish, if that's even a word. He kissed little girls. He was doing all types of weird shit on camera. All types of weird stuff. It's documented. Made one little white girl nervous as crap. It sickened me to see that footage. So he was on, I'm not saying he was, but it was just questionably pedophilish ish. We're going to stop here and I'm going to show you the footage. Now they don't, there it is, right there. Look at that. And they all turned away. This is what we go through. We go through pedophilia. And then on top of that, we got mental health people that's off the rocker, that's telling their invisible buddies to come in courthouses and walk around doing nothing, doing nothing, doing absolutely diddly, iddly, fiddly, whittly, siddly, Italy squat. Why were you there? It's okay though. You know, I got what I needed. I'm not trying to start no war. All I want to do is leave. Leave. I can see what is going on. Y'all been following me since the beginning, keeping tabs on me, lying and making it seem like you don't keep tabs on me. So you can find one incy bincy, small, minute, tiny detail to try to have me arrested. I just want to leave. I'm tired of your minions following me, harassing me, because that's what you did. You weaponized the illegal immigrants here. You promised them things. You promised them freedom. You promised them to get their charges dropped. You promised them everything to just follow me and annoy me. You know my whole record at the VA. That is sick. What is going on with? Look at this shit. Look at this. Like I said, they just restricted me. Biden, I I I I don't care. It's true. You just saw it. They said it's disinformation, but you just saw it on TV. Would you allow your child to get kissed like that by an old man? Would you allow that? Would you turn away like her parents did? Would you allow that? I think some of these evil people would turn their face like these parents did. So I am about to get off of here, but uh I I, I just want to leave, man. I'm never gonna stop advocating for myself. Y'all think because y'all have me wrapped around y'all finger that I'm just gonna sit up there and put up with this. Y'all are basically saying that while I'm in your state, I have to abide by your rules. And that's exactly how California was. I abide by one rule and one rule only, the rule of God, God Almighty Himself. I abide by God's rule because God is the Almighty God that's honest, that won't judge if you internalize your faults, that will give you another chance without asking for anything in return other than love. Not a corruption case where they're asking for you to turn on Trump or you to do things that are against Trump's uh, rules and regulations. Some of y'all are going to hell for that. Just remember that. I could be suing TikTok. I think I'm going to sue TikTok. Forget Facebook. I think it's TikTok that I'm going to sue because they keep censoring me. It's nothing I said that wasn't true.
Never waste my time.